at 3 p.m. And today's the 18th of December, our Christmas show, our last show of the season. Next week, you'll see a replay. Then when we come back in January, we've got a whole bunch of new restaurants lined up, but we'll also do a retrospective. If you remember how we do at the end of the year, is one or two shows is delegated to going back and reviewing the restaurants and or the musicians that have been on the show during the year. And at that time, we're actually ranking them and giving ratings, which we don't do during the normal part of the year. So for those who follow us religiously, you know our focus is to bring you new restaurants in the city, bring their chefs to you. And we have a great new one for you today that's really apropos for the holiday season. And also emerging musical guests. And we've got, as you see right next to me, a great new young gentleman by the name of rOREY. rOREY, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
Great, great. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you a native?
Yes, I am. Born and raised here in New Orleans.
We love our natives.
I love to be here.
I understand you're a student at UNO?
UNO, yes, I'm a jazz studies student. So I just finished my first semester there, did a pretty good job. Feeling good about that.
Good, that's good. I know your parents will be happy.
Yes.
And anyway, how long you been playing music?
Since I was 11 years old, so it's 9 years now.
Well, pretty good time, pretty good time. Now, I know you don't have a CD out yet, but I know you're working on some material. And I do know that you have a performance for those who'd like to see you coming up. Where's that going to be?
That'll be at Neutral Ground Cafe on Daniil Street, January 11th at 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
No,
Okay.
not 9 p.m.
Anyway, folks, that's our favorite horn, as you know, Phil Melancon's place, who is always a great entertainer locally. And in fact, he usually does the Christmas show with us, but he had other commitments from his major gig at the hotel, so unfortunately we had to do it without him. But I think you're still going to enjoy the show. But Phil has this great place on Daniil called the Neutral Ground, where all of our young musicians have a chance, especially on a Sunday night, an open mic, to get heard. And we use it as a stomping ground to pick up great talent to perform for you. So without any further ado, what are you going to do for your first song?
It's a song I wrote called Winter. Close my eyes and look back at a picture taken last winter. Hands locked a while on the ice, which has melted in my mind. Do you remember our dance last winter? For a second, our eyes met. The cold winter laid you on your back, gave you new summer life. Summer virgins die in autumn. Put my heart in glass this winter. Springtime crush is blown up again. And I'll be coming home next winter. I'll be coming home next winter. This winter you'll be on my doorstep, but I know it's just another empty holiday with brown mistletoe. The summer boy you knew is dead.
nice. That was rOREY CALLAIS. Now, what's really good about it is that rOREY doesn't have to go far to go home for winter. He lives here, so that's great. So he won't have to travel next holiday. He can stay here where he belongs. rOREY will be back with us for a couple more songs to help round out the show. But let's go ahead and get to what we always hear, the thing that we all love about New Orleans, that's food. Today we have one of the most unusual and the most authentic restaurants that we've had in many a long time. For those who get lucky enough who've gotten a chance to travel or live or visit New York City, they know about the wonderful food, of course, there, and specifically the delis. Something that several places locally have tried, but none of them have been authentic, true New York delis. Well, we're really proud that we're able to announce that New Orleans now has made the connection from the Big Apple to the Big Easy. And the name of the restaurant that has just opened is called the Big Apple Diner, or cafe maybe. We'll find out from the chef. The important thing here, folks, is this is the real stuff. There's nothing fake about this, and as you'll see, not only from where he gets the produce, but also the preparation and all, that we're talking about the real thing. He has been packed, slammed since he opened, but don't let that deter you. He's expanding his hours, doing a lot of stuff to accommodate you. It has been a big, big hit. We're so pleased that he's here, and we'll welcome today the owner and head chef of the Big Apple Deli, Greg PRASKO. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you got the idea. I think I know, but maybe everyone else knows about your restaurant.
Well, I came down to New Orleans 7 years ago to attend Tulane University, and in between studies, I took some time off, and then I decided to finish. And the one thing I always missed down in New Orleans, being here, was my food from home, other than friends and family. So I just never understood why nobody has come up with a concrete New York-style deli down in New Orleans. And so we figured after I graduated, we'd just give it a try, and that's basically how it came about, and I knew it would be perfect for the neighborhood that it's in.
Even the dialect is authentic. You notice that he didn't rehearse that.
I'm born and raised New York all the way.
Well, great. So how long have you been open now?
We've been open about 2.5 weeks now.
And you're on Maple Street. What's the address on it?
7708 Maple Street.
This is a well-known place for those who know that Maple is one of our restaurant rows. And this was formerly, for a long time, a very nice restaurant called Nautica, for those who got a chance before its demise. In between, we had a very short-lived Il Piatto, which was, in fact, the chef was on the program last year, but he's moved on to bigger and better things. So Greg came with the idea, saw the great little place, great location, and decided to open the deli. Now tell us about one of the greatest things about Greg's restaurant is all Orleanians know that uptown restaurants, you park on the street. However, he actually has room for some private parking that's for his restaurant, which is in the back, which is really great when you're trying to hunt down, especially with the number of restaurants on Maple Street. Let's talk about the size. We're going to show some of the pictures behind us of the place. I saw that great-looking entrance to the door. I think we had it on a minute ago, but let's move forward. Tell us a little bit about how many people you can seat, because I know you have indoor and outdoor.
Well, we have seating for about 25 to 30 people inside and 32 people outside. It's been a little cold, so it's hard to sit outside lately, but we've been people in there all day, and we've had students come in and locals, and there's enough room for everybody, whether you want to dine in or sit outside, and wireless internet and everything. So we've had a lot of people studying and spending a lot of time in there.
Yeah, even before I ain't doing any advertising, Greg has just been deluged. Like I say, the word of mouth traveled throughout the university district. There's more students in there and adults than anyone I've seen. He's just been slammed, as I mentioned, since he got there. As you can see, there's one of the diners. I think he has two great-looking dining rooms. He had a friend of his from New York come and do some of the painting in it, which is cool. He's got a lot of tributes to New York, Statue of Liberties, and a really cute little kiosk. So I think you'll find it very, very eclectic. So there's two dining rooms inside. Then he's really got the porch, which is divided into two separate dining sections, and then down at the bottom a deck. And so he's really got, which will be great for the spring. As he mentioned, we're getting a little bit cold weather finally in the holidays, but we know that's only short-lived 1 or 2 months more, and we'll be back to normal. And he's planning on introducing music in the future, so that's really going to make that deck area and that outside dining really, really important. Okay, well, what we need to do, Greg, anything else you want to tell us? Oh, let's talk about the hours of operation also people know.
Well, presently we're open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., but since all the students have gone home for the holidays, we're going to wait till they come back and then be open later, at least till 1 a.m. or possibly even 3 a.m. because there's not many places that deliver uptown that late. So I figure it'd be a great way to keep the students happy and keep a lot of my New York people happy who complain every day about the food that I hear. And I just figured that, it's not just for students, but we're catering to everybody. We're catering to the locals by being open early and catering to students by being open late. So if you're studying or it's 2 in the morning, you can call up for a delivery and we'll bring it right over.
That is phenomenal because delivery is so important, especially in the university community, but even in the family residence. And what he mentioned is that a lot of his natives will appreciate, but I think a lot of our New Orleanians will learn to appreciate because I think we've been, as I mentioned, diluted by several false starts that really have not represented true New York deli dining. So I want each of you all out there to go try it. Once you see it, I think you're going to be sold on it and wish that it were closer to you depending on where you live. But the important thing is hours are going to be open late. It's delivery. So it's really going to be easy for you to go back and more one time. So let's go ahead without further ado and start going through the menu so you can see some of these things. Some of these things you might have heard of, never even seen. Some of the others will be old hat to you. But let's start, and again, it's a pretty thorough menu, plus he's also every day doing some specials, and some of those specials are becoming permanent fixtures to the menu, so it's constantly evolving. But he got a lot of basics. And let's go ahead and talk about the first appetizer, which is something, again, many of us might not know what it is, even though there's a few little other places that have tried it, and that is potato latke, right?
Yes, potato latkes.
Latkes, and the big deal here, take a look at that, folks. It almost looks like pane veal from the picture. But this is truly the way it should look, as opposed to a lot of the other places that have been little small round patty things. And tell us what you're serving. Tell us, well, really, just tell us how a potato latke is actually prepared.
Well, we start out by shredding potatoes and onions. That's the base of it. Excuse me. And also, we use matzo meal for the potato pancakes, which is sort of like a flour. It's actually a combination of a tight flour and a loose flour to get the right consistency, and eggs, and just basically salt and pepper, a few spices to taste. And we fry them up, and it's always, most of the time, served with applesauce. That's how most people eat it.
Right.
You'll see it different ways in some places, but applesauce is the way to go.
Right, and that's where the authenticity, not only in the menu itself, the ingredients and the preparation, but also the accompanying. I have never yet locally seen that served properly with the applesauce, so it was really a great addition. However, you can eat it plain. Some people like to put ketchup on it. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but it's a great appetizer and really so thick and large that it's definitely more than for someone more than one. Now let's move on to another one, and the next one. Now this is your own invention, your signature desk, and it's called the Reuben Wellington. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Wait till we take a look at this, folks, and let's hear about it, please. Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Now what this is a Reuben is a traditional New York deli sandwich. It's Swiss cheese on rye with sauerkraut, Russian dressing, and corned beef. And grilled. The rye bread is grilled on both sides, so it's nice and brown, nice and good stuff. Now, what we did for an appetizer was I figured try to put it in a puff pastry and make it that way, and we serve it with Russian dressing on top, and it has been a hit ever since we started selling it. It's fantastic.
It really, even though he's saying basically it's the same ingredients other than the bread, the taste is totally different, folks. Really is significant. The puff pastry is almost like phyllo, but not as greasy and not as light, but done extremely well. So this is really, I want to call it a pot pie, I don't know, but something that is really well done. The taste of the Reuben with the dressing, the true authentic stuff in it, is phenomenal, but it is definitely a different taste than the Reuben. And we're going to go back and show you what a real Reuben looks like later on when we get to the entrees. This is a really great little appetizer one can eat by himself, him or herself, or separated, divided up to several diners. Now he has several other items, bagels, a bunch of other stuff like that on the appetizers. But we have so many different sandwiches, so many different entrees. We want to focus on that and the soups and the salads. And so we're going to cut short the appetizer presentation for you today. If we have time, we'll go back and talk about those. But now we want to go into soups, which we always do. He has one soup, and of course, it's the true, authentic soup from New York, and that is matzo balls. Let's take a look at this and tell them this is really a phenomenal soup. I mean, everyone hears about the Jewish chicken noodle soup for when you're sick and all. This is certainly. Tell us a little bit about what is a matzo. You talked about the flour there, and we'll bring that picture back up and show all the different kinds. This is, especially with our cold weather right now, you can't beat this soup.
This is true. This is totally authentic. It's actually my mother's recipe, and a matzo ball is actually, it's somewhat like a dumpling, but different. Right. It uses the same thing, matzo meal with eggs and everything that's in the potato latkes, and obviously no potatoes are in it, but it's just you boil them in water and they fluff out, and it's served in a traditional New York Jewish chicken soup, which is chicken, carrots, celery, onions, and it's whole chickens and
fettuccine noodles.
And noodles as well. Yeah. See, the whole problem that I see with chicken soup when you get it places is they don't give you pieces of chicken in the soup. They use it for other things.
Stock.
Now, we have other things that we use chicken for, but we don't use this chicken. All the chicken that we make the soup with goes in the soup.
So you can see the matzah's there in the center, and then you can see the huge chunks of chicken laying the periphery. All that, so it might be blending in together, but that's lots of chunks of chicken breast, white meat. So, and then, as you can see, loaded with noodles, carrots, and vegetables. Just whether you like the matzah or not, you can just eat the soup. But the matzah is so good. Now, some people think matzah ball is a Jewish translation of meatball. And it really, other than shape, that's the only thing. So don't be going to look for ground meat or anything like that stuff. It's totally, as you mentioned, like a dumpling, but much lighter, easy to slice, almost like polenta, really. It cuts so easy. But delicious taste, very plain. It's not spicy or anything like that. And I know our New Orleanians might want to doctor the whole soup up with a little Tabasco, but it's there on the table for you. But if you want true, authentic matzo ball soup, perfect at this time of the year, give them a try.
And just like he said, if you're sick, it takes care of everything. They actually did scientific tests on matzo ball soup.
I've heard that.
And there are actually healing qualities in it. It's known as the Jewish penicillin, is what they call it. But I've given it to so many people who have had the flu's been going around, and pretty much instantly they're all right.
Well, let's talk about some salads, because you've got a nice array of salads. The first one is, again, basically a side salad, but you can take your side salad and, just like we like to do here, customize and really put any type of your ingredients that you have on top of it. But here, once again, we went the authentic way, and you actually put, go ahead and tell them what's on the center of this particular side salad.
Well, this salad is basically just a side salad with a scoop of chopped liver on it, and we add onions around it. Chopped liver is just traditional. It's just as traditional as everything else. I can't say one thing's the most traditional because everything is. But it's very old school. It's very, it's sort of like a pate, you could call it, because it is liver. But it's tremendous. People have been loving it, and we have bagels on the side, which are shipped in from New York. And we basically just serve it either on a sandwich or on the salad how it is as an appetizer, and it's pretty incredible.
So what's really great, so now, folks, for all those people who always say, what am I, chopped liver? You can actually know what it tastes like, because there's been no other place. You've had the really fancy pâtés in all of our French restaurants, but you've really not had chopped liver till you've tried it the New York style. So it's well worth for you to put it on this salad, or just try it as a compliment with a bagel or some bread. It's excellent, excellent. Okay, now, besides the side salad, he also has a Deli Deluxe or Deli Delight. This is truly representative of our sandwiches as well as our salads. Take a look at this. What is it called, Deluxe Deli or Deli?
It's called the Deli Deluxe salad, and basically what it is our salads come with lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, and onions. Okay. And for the Deli Deluxe, we have a little less than a quarter pound of turkey and roast beef. Not roast beef, I'm sorry. We have turkey, ham, corned beef, and pastrami.
Yeah, that's what the four is divided into quarters, if you can see that. In fact, I think we have several angles on this particular dish, so you can see the 4 quarters of meats. But all right, let's go again. So you have turkey, obviously, in the white, and what else we have?
We have turkey, we have ham, and then we have hot corned beef and hot roast beef. So it's sort of like a club salad with a flair.
With a flair. But folks, as we say, in all of these, you know how we want our poor boys to be overstuffed. All of these sandwiches and salads are definitely what you call overstuffed. That's why the New Yorkers love them so much, because you're really talking about top quality meats and plenty of them. There, as you notice, he has numerous different dressings for it. He put just a balsamic there to show, but you have your choice of dressing. But truly, this is much more a salad, an entree salad, than anything I've seen anywhere abouts. Quite filling and very, very tasty. And he has a couple other salads, but let's go move on to some of the entree sandwiches, because we've got a slew of them here. And I know the first one, as we talked about in the appetizer, he's taken the classic Reuben, or what he calls the Brooklyn Reuben. It's a variety, and that's what we're going to be looking at here. And I know we talked about the Reuben Wellington, but tell us the difference. What is a Reuben, a Brooklyn Reuben?
Well, a Brooklyn Reuben is Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Russian dressing, just like a normal Reuben, but with pastrami instead. So it's just a little change on the regular Reuben. Give someone a chance who doesn't like corned beef to try out a Reuben with something else. And we also have a turkey Reuben as well. So we do a variety of Reubens, and that's been a great seller for us.
And you serve them on what time?
It's on grilled rye bread always. That's the traditional Reuben. Is you make the sandwich, you put it on the flat grill, grill it on both sides, and the cheese melts, and everything just comes together, and it's one of the best tastes you'll ever have.
Excellent, really excellent. Oh, folks, we got a call. I forgot our director probably flashed his numbers up, and I forgot to tell people. We always want you to call, so let's go ahead and take the call and put those numbers up again for anyone else to welcome to Restaurant Review. Who's calling, please?
This is Tyler from Kenner, Louisiana.
Oh, Kenner, great. Is that what you said?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, I'm from Kenner, Louisiana.
Okay.
My name is Tyler.
Tyler, right.
Yeah, I had a question for Greg. Greg, where's your deli located?
It's at 7708 Maple Street, right between
Uptown.
Adams and Burdett, in the heart of Uptown.
Only a few blocks before Carrollton, what, about 4, maybe 4 at the most,
About three blocks from Carrollton, in between Carrollton and Broadway.
And you come out, I think that's where the old Ben Franklin School used to be, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Excellent.
Any other questions, Tyler?
No, that would be it. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you calling. That'll help out a lot of folks.
Okay, have a great day, y'all.
Thank you. Have a happy holiday. Well, folks, as we mentioned, if you want to call and ask any other question, because this is new food for New Orleans, the Big Apple Deli, and we're talking to Chef Greg PRASKO. The numbers here are 483-3336, 483-3338. You're welcome to call and ask any questions about this fabulous food or location or about our musician or anything about our show. Please call. We always love to have, I never mention it enough, and I apologize for that. But please give us a call. Don't mind interrupting us, because we're there to serve you, so you can get to wear the skinny here on this type of restaurant or any other one you want to know about, and go out there and patronize it. Okay, we just finished the Brooklyn Reuben and mentioned you had several other combinations of Reubens. Here you wanted to go head-to-head against New Orleans' favorite, the po' boy. The roast beef po' boy is sacred in our territory here. And, there's nothing better than a roast beef po' boy with hot gravy. I think what we're showing there is just another view of the Reuben inside. But we're going to talk, I think it's called Greg's Open Face Roast Beef Special. I know it was a special, but now you have it, everybody. Take a look at this, folks, and tell us about it, Greg.
Well, basically, I changed the name just to the Greg. And a hot open just means, with the bread and either French fries and a knish, which is mashed potatoes and dough. It's very traditional. It's everywhere you go in New York, you find the knish, and so that's basically split open on top of garlic bread. We use garlic bread for the special. And then what we do is we grill up some roast beef with Swiss cheese, and until it's nice and everything's melted, put it on top of the knish and brown gravy over it. And it's a huge portion, and it's hard for one person to finish.
You better believe it. I told Greg I did my best. I had to push aside the extra slices of garlic bread.
Well, you got most of it.
But I did do justice by the content. So, folks, I'm telling you, if you want to compare it to some of the finest po' boys, roast beef po' boys that you have around the city, this is truly, he's on with the challenge. So don't forget to ask for the Greg. It's not printed in the menu yet, but it will be there available to you all the time. A real hearty man or hearty lady, if you got the word delight. So let's move on to one more. And this is again, what a lot of people who know about the delis up in New York are known for. And they call them their triple deckers. And I believe this one is called the Staten.
This one is called
We have
the
several
Staten,
varieties.
that's
Let's take a look at this, folks. You know, that's why they call it triple decker. Take a look at that. This is a close-up, and then we'll have some other pictures. Tell us about this, Greg, please.
Well, this is one of our triple deckers. They're all named after the boroughs of New York. And
You start from top to bottom.
from
Tell them
top
what's
to
in
bottom, we start with corned beef on top. And then we keep the hot, if it's two hot meats on a triple decker, we'll keep those together, or the cold meats together. And basically, it's corned beef on
there.
top,
Corned beef, okay.
turkey,
Okay.
and roast beef with
Wow.
coleslaw and Russian dressing.
Wow.
That's a very traditional way of eating a deli sandwich is with coleslaw and Russian dressing. And
correct.
Russian dressing is
That's our
similar
lettuce.
to Thousand Island dressing.
That's our lettuce or cabbage down here. Excellent. And you notice layered between 3 slices of toast. What a great, great combination. These are things you barely can finish. I know a couple other friends of mine went over there and they had a lot of trouble finishing it. So this is great take-home food, or again, if you've got a date or something, you can sort of look. Here's another angle of it so you can see the towering size of the sandwich. So one half is really certainly enough for the ordinary diner. The other half is for someone else, or take home and have enjoyment. Okay, now, what would be New York without a foot-long dog? And he's got a great one here. He puts it in his appetizer, but that's entree food here. Tell us about your New York dog, please.
Well, the New York dog is all beef kosher dog that they serve all over New York, and it's
Foot-long bun.
foot-long bun, foot-long hot dog, and to me that's the way a hot dog's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a foot long, not the little ones you get in on the street or in other restaurants. Foot long. That's the only way a hot dog is supposed to be served. On this we have sauerkraut, relish, and mustard, deli mustard as well. Now, you could get it any way you want. If you want, some people like chopped onions on it, or if you want to make it a little New Orleans, you could add hot sauce or anything like that. But this is pretty traditional. The way it is sauerkraut and mustard, or sauerkraut, relish, and mustard.
Truly one of the most authentic, if not the most authentic, New York deli that we have here anywhere in our parts. If you all know of another one, let us know about it. But Greg's up to the challenge, because I'm saying I haven't found anything in our city that compares to this. So for those who are just joining in or haven't been paying attention to us, we're talking to the owner and head chef of the Big Apple Deli. His name is Greg PRASKO. He's here from New York. Decided to, which we love, when they put some roots down here. We lured him. He came in for school, fell in love with the city, and saw a real need in this phenomenal food eatery place to put something that would be very unique, something that was a big gaping hole, and that was true New York deli food. And he's done a bang-up job. Again, he's on Maple, opened almost every day of the week for you, indoor and outdoor seating, delivery, even late-night delivery. So really good. If you want to give us a call, catch those numbers. Let's talk about a few more items for the entree. That's all the pictures we have before we move into the dessert. But let's go ahead and talk about a few more of the great sandwiches that you have. What other one can you think of we can talk about that we haven't displayed yet?
Well, my favorite growing up, I call it the classic at the restaurant. It's corned beef pastrami, coleslaw, and Russian dressing. It's just your basics of everything on rye bread, and it's fantastic. We also have, that's been selling like crazy, is the Turkey Club, where it's turkey with lettuce and tomato and grilled pastrami. Anything that you would normally see bacon on in another deli, such as a club sandwich or add bacon, we substitute grilled pastrami, and it's phenomenal. And then we also have a Big Apple Club, which is the same as a Turkey Club, but it has ham in it. And one other signature sandwich of mine is called the GP, named after me, and it's on a everything bagel toasted. It's turkey, mayo, onions, and potato salad. It may sound strange, potato salad on
Say that again. Wait, let me. Turkey, potato salad.
Turkey, potato salad, onions, and mayo on an everything bagel toasted. And it may sound strange, but when I worked at a deli in New York, every morning that's what I started with, the GP. It's fantastic. You got to try it out.
Well, it's not any stranger than here in the Western, which I love to do, the Cajun version of gumbo is we eat gumbo with potato salad right in the middle of the gumbo. So that's strange even for some people here in our state. So that's not any stranger to put those combinations together. It's just something that we haven't tried yet or heard yet. Well, we do still have a few more minutes, so let's talk about any other sandwiches that we had that we haven't touched on, or any appetizers that we haven't touched on that you'd like to
Well, we
tell
also
them.
have a couple of, everything's pretty much homemade. Everything's my grandmother and my aunt's recipes. Matzo ball soup is my mother recipes.
Right, I know.
They're Eastern European Jewish women. And
Wonderful people.
every holiday growing up was the best. They'd just get together and we'd have feasts of all of this. And
But the key here, and I don't know if you mentioned it, but excuse me for interrupting, is to show how authentic is you're not buying any of this meat produce locally. Is that correct?
no,
Tell us where it comes
we
from.
are
okay?
actually getting our corned beef pastrami, our rye bread, our pickles, our mustard, all of our desserts, our cheesecakes from Carnegie Deli in New York City. It's world famous. It's the top deli in New York. It doesn't get much better than that.
Right. So again, I promised you authentic. So even though, unfortunately, here we can't use we usually like to brag that we're using our local produce and our local seafood in our restaurants, but this is one time where, in doing so, we wouldn't be authentic. So Greg has done the right thing. He's hooked up with the purveyors up in his hometown to actually ship this stuff fresh to you all with regard to every ingredient. So there's nothing missing here. It's not something, well, we're making a substitution here or there. Now, a lot of places here have taken Reuben sandwiches and they don't want to make the Russian dressing the true way, so they'll put some substitute stuff, or they won't use real sauerkraut. So a lot of these people that have put these sandwiches on, known how popular they are, still aren't representing them in the true, authentic way. So I'm hoping that a lot of you all will try the Big Apple Deli. As we mentioned, it's in on Maple Street, about 4 blocks before you get to Carrollton Avenue. He's got parking on the street like all of his competitors, but he also has a small-sized parking lot in the back, which you drive along the side of the restaurant, and in the back it is parking for maybe 8 to 10 cars. So it's not a lot.
Oh, more than that.
More than that?
We have room for almost 20 cars
Well, it
back
must be
there.
double-decking. But anyway, the important thing is that's at a premium, as you know, in New Orleans restaurant rows, because when you have so many rows in such short distance, everyone's competing for walk space in the neighborhood. So this is something that a lot of people won't expect, so you're hearing it here from here. Watch for the little sign, and it'll direct you to the parking lot, so that way you can pull up and not have to go searching around the neighborhood. As we mentioned, you've got great indoor dining and 2 beautiful dining rooms done real bright colors, really nice hardwood floors, taking a beautiful New Orleans cottage, and great outdoor dining with both front porches available, as well as a deck area and sidewalk area, fenced sidewalk area at the base level. So he's really got a lot of room, not only for food and for diners, which I mentioned he's planning to do entertainment, so that's going to even bring it in more. It's extremely popular already, but we want you all to give it a try regardless. So get in there before it gets unavailable. And remember, there's delivery and late night openings, so there's no excuse why you can't try it. Let's see if we can, if there's any other callers that we have. There's 3336, 3338. We'd love to talk to you all. If not, we'll talk a few more minutes, because I know we want to get back to our musician, rOREY. He's going to do a second song for us in a moment. But let's talk anything else that we missed, because again, we don't want to do a disservice. We both talk fast. That's typical New York and New Orleans style. But at the same time, let's make sure we're not leaving something out on your menu.
Well, basically, we also have things like chicken salad, egg salad, tuna salad. Also staples of a deli, and they're all homemade in-house. They're all recipes from my
Some
family
of the
and
sides,
everything.
I know there were some sides on. I can't remember. I didn't bring the menu.
Coleslaw, potato salad. We have
There was
knishes
knishes,
as
and we
well.
talked about the knish
We
with
talked
your
about the
sandwich.
knish, and obviously desserts as well.
Well, we can talk whole desserts, Nick.
All right,
Remember,
all
we'll do
right,
that.
enough.
We don't want to give away too much. We'll do that for the last part of the show. Any other salads that we missed that would be different than what we've showed before?
Well, as far as salads, we also have a club salad, which is the same as a deli deluxe without corned beef. It's with the grilled pastrami and the turkey and the ham. And I mean, we could basically do any way you guys want to do it. Any combination of anything, we could do it.
Yeah, so that's to say. So if there was a particular meat that they didn't like, you could certainly substitute it and work along those lines.
And we also get products from some of our cold cuts from Boar's Head as well, which is a very famous brand. It hasn't gotten there totally here yet, but it's the best cold cuts out there to me and to many people. And H&H Bagels from New York City, from Manhattan, straight from Manhattan.
So now, the bagels, people can say, well, why would you use a bagel from New York?
Because it's the water.
Uh-huh.
The water makes the bagel. That's why pizza and bagels are different down here, because
now, see, that's the one
the
even
water.
I am starting as why the bagel would be better up there. New York water.
It's all the water.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. I see. Do we have another caller? Is that what we say?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Restaurant Review. Who's calling, please?
Hi, how you doing? This is Brian. I'm calling from the Uptown area.
Great.
I take Uptown.
This is great. This is great. Right near your area.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what. You have my curiosity, and I have one question. I've never eaten Russian sauce. Can you explain to me what's it made of and what's...
Good question, sir. We take advantage here, unfortunately, of knowing those things. And even though you can buy Russian dressing today in the store, but at the same time, we do take advantage that everyone knows. Tell us what Russian dressing is.
I'll hang up and listen.
Well,
sure. Thank you for calling.
Well, if you see it in stores down here as Thousand Island dressing, and it's basically mayonnaise, chili sauce, and like a pickle relish in there, and it's got a little kick to it, a little spice. Right. But it's basically an orange sauce that is just like Thousand Island dressing. Yeah. It's just by a different name with more of a kick to it.
More of a kick, and which is really great for us New Orleanians who know that we love spice and everything. We love to get that heat level. So now some people don't like Thousand Islands, I understand that. But if you've ever tried Thousand Islands, try this. I think you'll like it because it's got that extra spike, which really brings it to a new level. We got one more call, and we'll try and get to our musician. Who's on the phone, please?
This is Beverly.
Beverly, welcome.
In Lakeview.
Great.
I have found, and I've called several times, I have found so many restaurants from you, your reviews, that I go back and back to. This intrigues me.
Have you tried some of them?
Every single one, almost.
Well, my goodness, that's a testimony to the show then, huh?
Okay, I have a couple of questions to ask.
Please.
Well, one was answered, that you do make chopped liver.
Yep.
My son always says, Mom, when are you going to make it?
There you go.
I don't have to make it anymore.
Excellent.
And first, are you open on Christmas Day?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I kind of decided this morning that I think we were going to just be open maybe for half the day on Christmas Day, maybe stay open till about 4 o'clock. And I just feel bad making all my employees, stay there when they wanted to let them be with their families. But we will be open for part of the day.
Okay, till about what time?
Till about 4 o'clock.
Why don't you do this?
Well,
Beverly, why don't you call him?
We go and volunteer at the Bridge House and
stuff
on
wonderful.
Christmas. So I was saying, well, we're always looking for some place to eat. This would be perfect. And do you deliver out to Lakeview?
We don't currently deliver out to Lakeview, but we're going to expand it. We just started delivering on Monday, so we haven't really had the chance because it's been so hectic. But we will be delivering up there eventually. We're just working on getting all the kinks out of everything, and I'm going to try and make it so we deliver all over the city, down to the CBD and up to Lakeview. And
yeah, that would be great for the UNO students.
Beverly, yes. I'm going to ask, normally we don't allow the phone numbers, but Greg, why don't you give her your phone number? That way she can call you either the day before Christmas Eve, or just to verify you're still planning to stay open, and of course in the future if she wants to order things. Go ahead and give her your phone number, please.
Our phone number is 309-1465.
1465?
1465, that's correct.
Okay.
Beverly, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays to you.
Well, I have one last question.
Oh, sure.
Do you serve any wine?
We do not have our license yet, but we will within the next few weeks. We will have beer and wine.
Would you allow them to?
Right now you're allowed to bring your own bottles. We have wine glasses.
Oh, fantastic!
There you go, Beverly.
Okay, look forward to it.
Thanks again for the
show.
Thanks again for the compliments. Keep listening and watching, okay?
I do every Saturday.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're running now. Thanks to all the callers, but now we're running a little late. We want to get our second musician song. This is rOREY, CALLAIS. Tell us what you're doing for number 2, Rory.
I'm going to be doing a song called Desire.
Very good. You got a lot of...
Coldest night my skin has ever felt, I reluctantly warm up to you. The feeling strange, one I've never felt, make my old bones seem new. still can't let you through. No desire for where I'll never be. Desire for what I'll never see. Desire forbidden, lovely desire for no one that desires. I play the hard one I've never known, an actor content with you, but my mind wanders where I'll never know. But I have a clue to a touch I barely know. Her print stick to me like glue, and now she's gone where I'll never know. But I found something new in you. Desire for what I'll never see. Desire for where I'll never be. Desire forbidden, lovely desire for no one that desires me. And I feel strange. You may feel the same, and I won't self-destruct in fear of something new. And I don't know why you won't say goodbye. Are you worried that the world will steal me from you? Yeah, I'm worried too. You cling to me and never say a word. It's more than I could take. You make big plans and I don't say a word. I'm planning my escape, and I'll keep running, never say a word. Well, I stop for heaven's sake. No desire for where I'll never be. Desire for what I'll never see. Desire lovely desire for no one that desires me. And I feel strange. You may feel the same, and I will self-destruct in fear of something new. And I don't know why you won't say goodbye. And are you worried that the world will steal me from you? Yeah, I'm worried too. I'm worried too. Worried too. Desire for you. Desire for you. Desire for you. Yeah, I'm worried too. Worried too. Worried too. Worried too.
That was Rory Calais. Rory, I got to tell you, don't worry, be happy. It's Christmas, it's Hanukkah, it's Kwanzaa. This is the time to be seasoned. Rory will be back one more time for you folks, and hopefully he'll uplift that spirit. Anyway, we want to finish up with our great owner and chef. Today we're talking to Greg PRASKO of the Big Apple Deli, uptown on Maple, that is wowing them left and right. You can see from the interest in our call level today that we really got some great food here, authentic food. Let's hit the desserts. He was anxious to get to it. We've got a couple pictures of a few. We all know cheesecake in New Orleans, but you haven't had cheesecake, you've had the original. Many of our cheesecakes today are done with sweet creams or sweets. They've moved totally away from the true original cheesecake, which is more of a cheese flavoring. And Greg has a great combo here, what they call black and white, both the original and chocolate cheesecake. Tell us about them, please, Greg.
Well, these are also from the deli as well, like I said before, in New York. And the difference between this and normal cheesecake, one of the differences is that normal cheesecake, they use graham cracker crust, but Carnegie uses a cookie crust on it. So it's very different. It's very dense. Each cheesecake weighs 11 pounds. It's tremendous. I love the cheesecakes down here, how they do it, how they do the varieties, but this is the original. This is it. Right. This is the best cheesecake you will ever get, and I testify to that.
He's 100% correct. And so even though you might be used to some of them and say, oh, my God, it's so heavy. I'm so used to a light. Most of the time you're eating mousse. So it's wonderful, and there's no discredit to any of our fabulous French chefs and chefs here in the city right there. But at the same time, start where it began and then see how you enjoy the variety. Okay, another one that you're going to look to that is very familiar here in the city is the chocolate, or I don't know if it comes in other colors, but 7-layer cake, which down here we would call d'auberge. But tell us about it, please.
Well, exactly. It's like a d'auberge. It's basically yellow cake with chocolate, kind of a pudding in between for the layers. And it may look, just like your basic d'auberge, but this thing is addicting. It's got chocolate all around it. It's very simple, but you wouldn't even think how good it is. Once you try it, you'll eat it all the time. I mean, it's fantastic.
And you notice they sprinkled it with a little powdered sugar that even adds a new element to it that normally we wouldn't do down here, so it's great. Now, lastly, and again, this is not all of his dessert, but he does a strudel, and I asked for the cherry strudel, and that's what you're going to see. Tell us about this. Really great, folks.
Now, this, to me, is the best dessert we have. I grew up on New York cheesecake. This I just decided to try from them, and I had ordered it, just a few of them, and we went through it like wildfire. It's a cherry and cream cheese base inside a pastry, which is just lined with cinnamon and sugar, and it's just chock full of it. And it is one of the best desserts I've ever eaten. And I'm not just saying that, obviously, because it's from us, but I never had tried it before, and once they sent it to me, I couldn't believe how good it is.
Now, you also have the companion, was it apple? I forgot it.
Apple strudel as well.
Apple strudel. And let's talk about a few more of the desserts. Anything else that you want to highlight that we don't have the pictures of?
Well, we have a couple of desserts that we're just trying out from Carnegie. Okay. We have an apple crumb pie. We have a truffle torte, which is a chocolate mousse cake with a chocolate cake on the bottom. It's phenomenal.
That sounds good.
And we also have a Fifth Avenue pie, which is just like the Fifth Avenue candy bar with peanut butter, and it's pieces of the pieces of the candy bar in it, and chocolate in a crust. And I mean, it's tremendous. The pie itself is this high, and as far as desserts, I'm just trying new things. I just ordered some carrot cake from there to try, and different kinds of cheesecake. We just started basic, and then we're going to go from there and see what's best. And
well, that's the key, again, because, as you know, we have quite a bunch of bakers here, and phenomenal of all different nationalities. So go with your authentic stuff, expand from that base, and see how your clientele react. Now, let's all talk about, we're talking about beverages. Unfortunately, not a liquor license yet, but that's coming down the tubes. But Greg has graciously allowed you to go ahead and bring your own bottle of wines. That would be delightful for you to enjoy your dinner. He has a complete line of non-alcoholic beverages, which is really going to get some sodas and all that are from New York, great flavors, black cherry, my kind of stuff. Unusual things like that. Teas. He also does fresh lemonades. What other non-alcoholic stuff you have out there?
Our New York line of sodas is basically it's another deli staple. They also have a celery soda, which is a celery soda, which may sound strange, but for some reason it's great.
We have a few juice bars, so people are getting to it. We're going to know what we're talking about. We
also carry iced tea, peach iced tea, kiwi strawberry juice. We have orange juice. We have different cola products as well, and different Powerade drinks and things like that. And unsweetened iced tea, brewed just how people like it down here, and coffee and chicory, and we try to cover all bases so everyone's happy.
Great. Well, folks, it's really been a delight. This has been our Christmas show. We've been talking to chef and owner Greg PRASKO of the Big Apple Deli. We're going to go over it one more time. He's on Maple Street, open how many days a week?
We are open 7 days a week.
7 days a week, and late right now until about 11. But moving to 3 a.m. delivery, certainly in the Uptown area. expanding that delivery as needed as soon as he gets enough chefs. He's only been open, how long you been open now?
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks, and I'm telling you, it's hard pressed to keep up with the demand. I met his lovely parents. They came in during the first week to help him. His mom made great matzo ball soup. I can attest to the authenticity and the quality and the taste, so definitely there. We've seen a great line of variety of foods that some of them may be totally new to you, some of them are not. At the same time, if you've tasted them, you haven't tasted them in New York, this is the place to come because you really are going to reach the authentic situation. Now, we want to tell you again a little programming note before we close. Next week, the station's closed, so either you'll be seeing a repeat of this show, or maybe we'll bring in one of our other Christmas shows from previous years. We'll take a look. Although we'd like to give Greg as much exposure as possible, so we might just rerun this show for you. But as we mentioned, coming back in January, we've got a bunch of new restaurants. One great restaurant for those who live in Metairie. For those that for years, it was a fabulous restaurant called Petra's. It closed down, and the chef is the brother of a restaurant that we had uptown on Maple Street, one of the competitors, called the Maple Street Grill. Well, now TJ, who's the brother, has merged with his brother and have reopened Petra's, and they call it Maple Cafe and Grill, not Maple Street, Maple Cafe, in the same location. So, folks, for those who remember the quality of the food and the great, and we'll be bringing him on later next month. Also, we want to do our retrospective, where we'll go through all the restaurants that we had during the year and rate those for you so you can kind of put them in order if you haven't tried them, where you want to start. Don't forget we have all the artists. We have artists coming up next year for you. And don't forget the Art Egg Markets and the artist studios that will send some of our musicians. Now, we're going to go ahead and turn it loose. Again, we have rOREY CALLAIS. He's going to finish up for you. Once again, we'll see you in January. Come back to us. Thanks for all your loyal viewers. So, Rory, what you going to do?
This song's called Last Night. Entire life, the day I'm born and the day I die. Then I see you, we dance, kick off our shoes, let our troubles fly. Don't think of the future, no goodbyes until the sun. I don't care if the sun goes down till the end of time. I wish this night would last forever, but I know in my mind I'm leaving my life on the next train I run. Fate always catches up with me, kicking and screaming and pulling teeth. She drags me along, perfect. I wish time would freeze this night, but you say life is the blink of an eye, and then it's gone. I don't care if the sun goes down till the end of time. I wish this night would last forever, but I know in my mind I'm living my life on the next train. found what I'm looking for, but I won't be flying anymore without my memories. I go